It's time for JUCO Jam, presented to you by Dream Big Athletics, hosted by Tad Slowick, an exciting new podcast bringing you all the great action from JUCO baseball. Here you'll find weekly updates from around the country, highlighting the teams, players, and coaches who impact the game at the junior college level. Everything you want to learn about JUCO baseball can be found here and on our website at dreambigathletics.com. There you'll find our weekly team rankings, the top player rankings headed into the spring, and all the news of what is happening in the game at the junior college level. On this show, you will have many guests, coaches, players who will give us insight on the day-to-day, behind-the-scenes working of junior college baseball. And now our host, Tad Slowick.
Welcome, baseball fans, to another Dream Big Athletics JUCO Jam podcast. I'm your host, Tad Slowick. And with me again is my good buddy, Lou Temple. How you doing today, Lou?
Woo-wee! Fishing's fine, Tad Slowick. Here we are, just wrapping up February, heading into my favorite month, March, spring. So that is entirely baseball time for me. How about you?
That's good. Good. No, I'm loving life. Getting out to see these games, and it's been really good to see a lot of good players so far. So I'm excited to be out there and getting a good firsthand look at these guys.
Well, you've seen a lot of great players, and they just keep coming. And your weather's been great, so you were able to go out and see some good ball recently out at Logan. Is that right?
Yeah. I got a chance to see go down to Logan, downstate Illinois there, and they got a great complex, a nice turf field, and a real nice facility. So it was good to see them. They got a real good club this year. I got a chance to see Drew Pesca, who's number 2 in our overall list of JUCO players in the country, going to Tennessee, and he didn't disappoint. He was 94, 97 with a good hard slider. He's a big, old, strong guy. I see him going second day of the draft to somebody. I don't think he'll make it to Tennessee, but that's left to be said to him. Also, they got a good guy at third base, Jake Monroe, who's going to Louisville. He's got 6 bombs already, can really swing the bat, plays good defense, and, just a good player. They got a couple of guys who are uncommitted, too, who people should get on their radar. Cam Hill, center fielder, good athlete, guy who could cover a lot of ground out there in center field, good strong arm, can swing the bat real well. They got a good catcher behind the plate, Carson Kennedy. He's a good catch and throw guy, can swing the bat a little bit. They got Jack Porter, who's a kind of utility guy, can swing the bat. They got Luke Prohl, right-handed pitcher, who's really good. He's 89, 92 with a good breaking ball, could really pitch. So he's got a good arm, and he's someone that everybody should keep an eye on. They played South Suburban, who's a well-coached team all the time. Steve Ruzich is a great coach over there. He's been there forever, and, he does a great job with his kids. They got a couple good players. First guy is John Clem, who's a catcher. This guy's an absolute beast. Talk about a good athlete, strong athlete behind the plate, good first step quickness, can catch and throw and do a great job behind the plate. Plus, he can swing the bat. He's a monster, can hit the ball a long way, and left-handed hitter, and, really just a good prospect. He's going to Indiana State, but, he's another guy who could probably play pro at some time. They got a shortstop, Christian Holmes there, who's a big, tall kid, athlete. He can really pick it. He's got plenty of arm and, good catch and throw guy at short who can make the plays. Can swing the bat, too. I think he's got a good upside with the bat and should be a pretty good guy there. So good series there.
Yeah, you got to see a lot at Logan, and you're not the only one watching at Logan, because one of our sponsors sets up there and broadcasts every week, and that is St. Louis Productions, who does a great job with presentation of the ball games online, and is able to provide showcase demos for new players out there to provide to the coaching and recruiting implement. So St. Louis Productions is right where you want to be, and they do a great job for us as a partner, and we're excited to have them, and I'm sure you ran into those guys. You like their product, don't you, Cap?
Yeah, I do. Joel Anderson does a great job. They got a different streaming system. They use actually two cameras. So they got one set up behind home plate, behind center field, sorry, where you can see home plate and the pitcher and, see a lot of movement on the ball, see the guy swing the bat. Plus, they got a second camera that when the ball's hit, it's moved around, focuses in on the ball. You don't lose the ball on a big screen. And, they do a great job. I highly recommend them. And, it's good because it gives me an opportunity to see these players play when I'm not there, can't be there. And, just a great tool for me too to use.
Yeah, they put the scouting on video, and you put the evaluation on it. But you saw a lot of other good things happen over the course of the JUCO week this week, Tad. There's
Yeah.
some big news.
Yeah, I got a chance to get a home game in right up the road from my house. So it was 70 degrees. I was in short sleeves, and then a funny thing happened. The next morning, it was like almost zero wind chill factor. So
The Midwest.
how crazy the weather can change. But I got my game in. It was great to see Madison out of Wisconsin. They played at Lake County. Lake County's a tough team. Madison just is loaded with talent this year. They got 7 D1 guys. Graydon Tashin is going to Wichita State. He's 90 to 93 with a good sinking fastball, good hard breaking ball. He was dominant, struck out the side, 3 of 3 hitters, 3 up, 3 down. Matt Carpenter, an East Carolina guy, left-handed pitcher, big, strong guy. He's up to 93 and really can throw the ball and can really spin a breaking ball. They got Eli Hoyt back. He was injured all last year. He's going to Long Beach State, but he's the guy who's been kind of the nuts and bolts of them a couple of years ago. And, he was kind of their top guy on their staff. So they got him back too. They can swing the bat too with Will Johannes. He's a big, strong catcher, first base type guy who's going to Illinois, and he hit one that just absolutely was crushed. And they were playing with Wood too.
Wow.
They're getting ready to go down and play in Arizona, so they were preparing for the games there with Wood, and he hit an absolute bomb that's probably just still going. I mean, it was a nice swing at the bat. They also got Peyton Frainer, second baseman. He's going to college at Charleston. Nick Nowak, catcher, going to UW Milwaukee. And Grant Ross, an infielder, going to Illinois. So they got guys who are loaded and, a lot of good players. A couple uncommitted guys who I really like. Liam Stump, right-handed pitcher. He was 89 to 91, a lot of sink on his ball, good breaking ball, can really pitch. He's a guy for people to take a look at. Ryan Karst is a guy there. He's rehabbing. If he gets healthy, look out. I mean, he's got a huge arm, and, he's a guy who could be a factor for them. They got Charlie Marion in center field, and then Dayton Rosinski Hicks, also a good outfielder. So they got some good players. Lake County also had a good player, too, who I really like, Joe Morowiak. He's a shortstop, good athletic guy, 6'5", 60 runner. Can throw 90 plus off the mound, so he's got plenty of arm to play short, good actions. He's a good middle infielder, but he could swing the bat, left-handed hitter who really could stroke it. He hit opposite field bomb when I was there, and, he's always hit when I've seen him several times, and he's a guy who always hit. I think he's a guy for people to take a look at too. So I got a chance to see a couple really good games, and as you can tell, a lot of players, a lot of guys who are already committed, who are studs, and then guys who are uncommitted who really deserve a good home at the next level.
Well, I'm sure they're going to find that based on being exposed and playing good baseball. People see them.
Right, and they can take a look at our uncommitted guys. We got best available uncommitted at dreambigathletics.com. So, that list is constantly changing. Guys who are recruiting, go take a look at it. And, fans, go take a look. See who are the best available players out there at dreambigathletics.com. So,
yeah, that's definitely a tool that's out there. It's an option. It's exclusive content, actually. So make sure you get out there to see it. You'd want to subscribe to Dream Big Athletics to get the uncommitted list to get the top prospect list, professional evaluation of players for coaches looking for a guy. It's a great place to source out some talent that fits your program. And for players that want to be exposed to these coaching staffs, it's a great place to have your name attached. What about some of the other things that went on this past
Yeah,
week
I
in
mean,
JUCO?
there's teams playing well. I think D1 has settled down a little bit. Top 10 pretty much stayed the same. They got good clubs up there who are tearing it up with Gaston out of North Carolina, Gulf Coast out of Florida, Pensacola out of Florida. I can't wait to see that Panhandle conference start get going up there, between Gulf Coast, Pensacola, Chipola, Northwest Florida, and Tallahassee. I mean, you're going to see some monster games there. So, I mean, really good battles. I think they're going to end up beating up on each other a little bit. So,
Yeah,
they always got a strong conference down there. We mentioned Logan here. Connors State is off to 18-0 start. Chat State is on a roll. They're 16-3. And then welcome to the party, Spartanburg Methodist. They got into the act here and are playing real well, and they're in our rankings this week too. So I mean, you get also not only see players but team rankings at
right on.
DreamBigAthletic.com.
Yeah. How about Division
D2,
Two?
yeah, Division Two. I mean, you got those monster clubs at the top. LSU, Eunice, they're 18-0 right now. East Central out of Mississippi is 18-0. You got Glendale, who's 20-2 out of Arizona, who Madison is going to match up with next week. So that'll be a heck of a battle, And we just had a podcast with Ed Trujillo, head coach there. He's been there 35 years. Can you believe that? Crazy. So 35 years at
He must
Glendale.
like it.
Yeah. And we also talked to Hayden King, who's their top pitcher right now. So, take a look at that also. We mentioned Madison here. There's also a team that kind of broke onto the scene recently here is Allegheny in Maryland. They got off to 6-0 start. They're a team to watch in that Region 20 over there. So I look forward to seeing them. And then at D3, Gloucester is the team to beat again. They came out of the gate strong, the defending national champions. They're always in the mix to play for the title, and they've just been a dominant team. So they're going to be a team to beat. Team I really like, who is kind of a newbie out there, is Surrey out of North Carolina. They are off to a 14-1 start, and so take a look at them and see, keep an eye on them. They're going to be a good club this year too.
Lots of great baseball going on. All the teams that you had projected to come out and do well are doing well. And then you got some surprise picks in there as well. That's what makes the season fantastic. It's what makes JUCO great. All these teams, particularly out of the Northeast or even your Midwest, are coming out of the gyms and landing, doing really great, which speaks to the development that happens before the season starts. Which brings us to our next sponsor, MVP, which is a facility that provides whatever baseball, softball activities you need, from the skill sets to reps in the cages to pitching instruction off the mound, mental development, physical development in the weight room. You've got analytics, nutrition, instructors, just everything you can think of at MVP. They partner up with us, and certainly you're a big advocate of them, right, Tad?
Yeah, no, big advocate. MVP. It's a beautiful facility. It's huge, so there's plenty to do. It's not like you're going to get bogged down and can't get in. There's plenty of opportunities to get here, get your work in, and one of those things. It's all here for you. It's up to you to get the work done. If you want to be a good player, you want to keep up with everybody else, because all the good players are in here and in other facilities across the country, getting the job done. So you got to keep up with them.
Well, we're happy to have them on board with us and looking forward to partnering up on other things. You're going to be doing some showcases later this spring to add to your list and provide players to D1 programs, D2 programs. And so I know that MVP will be right in the middle of all those activities, and we're looking forward to that. Hey, you mentioned wood bats earlier, and it brings to mind my topic for Temple's Takes. Da-da-da-da,
All
Temple's
right.
Takes. Here we go.
I'm
This
looking
is
forward to hear
equipment.
what you have to say today, Lou.
Yeah, we're going for equipment today, and I think that you had referenced the wooden bats is a great segue into the Temple Take, which is the technology of equipment today. You remember when we played, there was a bag of bats, a bag of helmets. Maybe you showed up with your uncle's old baseball glove, or even for, like in my instance, my granddad's old glove from the 1930s. It had only 3 fingers. When I showed up to Little League, you're kind of embarrassed with that. Typically, maybe you got a pair of spikes when you were old enough to wear the metal. Before that, it was just those rubber cleats, as we used to call them. Today, all of that is individual, custom provided. I mean, if you don't show up with not just one, but two high-end bats, you are you're not taking your game serious. And the glove is probably a custom-made product from a really exclusive company that built it just for you, and who knows what colors it might have. And then everybody's in the shoe game, from Asics to Reebok. When you and I played, it was basically Adidas, maybe some Puma. I don't know if Puma's still in the game, but I always liked the Puma.
Yeah, yeah, Puma.
But
I wore
my
theirs.
take on all of this is, we can say that it's not the tool, it's the carpenter. But the reality is, if you're not comfortable with what your tools are, you've got to make some adjustments. So I kind of get the idea that all of these pieces of equipment are important.
Yeah, absolutely. The good glove, good bat, something you feel comfortable with. I think there's probably a little superstition in there. You get up there and get a couple hits with a bat that you like, and all of a sudden that's your brand, and same thing with the glove, too. It's something that you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel at your best when you're out there on the field. You don't want to have anything like, well, I'm wondering if this is going to work for me. But, you want to go out there with the utmost confidence, and having the right tools to play with also is a big factor in all this.
Just for a minute, as I do, little devil's advocate. Used to be that when we were all uniform and wearing the same kind of equipment, particular uniforms, and using the same bat, and our gloves were all similar, it really reinforced the team concept. Now it's almost, players are all about being their individual and show ponying themselves. Do you think that takes away a little bit from the team aspect of the game?
No, I don't think so. I think, and as we know, baseball's a team game played by individuals. The
Okay.
individual needs to be the contributor to the team effort. And, if the individual needs what he needs to be successful, then more power to the team. So,
Okay. Well, that is Temple's Take. Equipment, there's some amazing stuff out there. Anybody that wants to promote their equipment, feel free to send it to Dream Big Athletics, and we'll take a look at it and present it to the next generation on our podcast. Moving right along, this is my favorite segment, Tad. This is Foggy Mountain Breakdown. We're going to break down some players.
Foggy Mountain Breakdown. We love Foggy Mountain Breakdown.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, get a chance to talk about players, and I got a really good scenario for everybody today. We're talking about, and this is right up your alley since you were a catcher. I'm going to compare a couple catchers to each other. First, we got Jake Bennett.
Love that.
Yeah, Jake Bennett, catcher at San Jacinto. He's headed to Dallas Baptist for a 4-year school, and then Blaze Priester, catcher out of Meridian, out of Mississippi. There, he's headed to LSU. I see you got your glove there, so you're ready to go too to dig into the segment. Well, we got two really good prospects here, and they both have a little bit of a different game. We got Jake Bennett, who's just a physical specimen, 6'2", 230 pounds, and can really swing the bat. I see him as a middle of the order type guy who squares it up consistently and can drive the ball out of the park to all fields. He's more of an offensive player. His game behind the plate is coming along really good. I think he's got enough arm to contain the running game at the next level. He's got good hands, good feet, and he's just a hard worker. I think his game is something that, he's been working hard on, and I think he's going to be able to catch at the next level. I think, he reminds me of a guy like Mike Piazza back in the
Right.
day. I mean, just more of an offensive player, but did a good job behind the plate, was a leader, took care of business. Everybody kind of knocked him every once in a while for his catching, but when he swung the bat, everything was okay. So,
For sure.
all good stuff. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we got this Blaze Priester who just absolutely makes the game look easy behind the plate there. One thing I know always know as a scout, anybody who makes the game look that easy is a special player. And I think this guy's got the defensive skills, which are going to be plus in the future. He's a guy who can almost catch at the higher levels now. And, I think he's definitely going to be a plus defender at the big league level someday. Just really soft hands. Like I said, makes it look easy, real flexible guy. He's 6'1", can really move back there, gets in front of everything, blocks down. And like I said, it's not a chore for him. It's not these sudden bursts. He just makes the game look real easy back there. Got great hands, could really handle a pitch and staff really well. Catch and thrown, definitely the guy who could shut down the running game at the next level. And, I really like his defense. He can also swing the bat, too. He's a strong kid, who I think is going to have some power. And, I think he's going to be a good hitter, too, at the next level, too. So you got both ends of the spectrum. You got a guy who's a big-time offensive player who can defend behind the plate, and you got a guy who's a plus defender behind the plate who can swing the bat. So, you'd like to have both of them on your team, basically. But putting your scouting director hat on, Lou, what do you think of these two?
Well, I think that they're both, really interesting players, particularly as you're looking to develop them. Certainly, a guy like Bennett, you referenced the Piazza thing. Kyle Schwarber comes to mind most recently. When he came out, he was catching, and they figured out he couldn't catch. We're not saying that about Jake. Jake's really athletic. His work ethic is fantastic, and he's a physical presence. It doesn't matter whether he can or can't catch because his bat's going to keep him playing. You said that, and that's a plus as long as his athleticism stays in place. From the weight room, they should give him every effort to catch. There's a lot more technicality to catching now in the form of framing pitches, in setting up the one knee position, flexibility, gliding, left, right, hand softness, the things that you referenced. There might be a little bit more effort put forth to that, but hitters will catch until it becomes taxing, and then they'll move on like Mauer did, Joe Mauer. And so I think that you got to run him out there and give him a chance because if he can catch and help you, what a plus to have a bat like that behind the plate, i.e. Johnny Bench.
Absolutely. And, you talked about, we talked about Blaze Priester, you talked about before on the show about the running game being a little bit more important at the big league level now. So,
Yeah, definitely. So when you have a guy like Priester who is catch and throw already in place, immediately that's a bright future because he can bring his defense and leadership to the club right now at any level, and his development will move very quickly just to fill that
yeah,
position, and he'll always be able to slot in a lineup where his bat will be developing and continuing to be the case. Real Muto was a guy that learned to hit a little bit as he came in, and so his catch and throw has always been really good. Priester has a great arm that's an asset, not unlike a pitcher. When you talk about a pitcher with just a huge arm, Priester's this guy behind the plate with that. So he's definitely going to play high level baseball based on his skill set, and he takes the game seriously. He knows to call a game, and his framing's great, soft hands.
So he's fantastic. You'd want either one of these guys. I'd say Priester goes out, i.e., Danny Wilson, Mike Lieberthal, some older guys that we'll see if they learn um, to hit. We had a guy, Scott Service, who manages for the Mariners now. You remember when we had him, we were always looking for him to hit. Biggio was a guy we sent out to catch. With that in mind, look, he ended up being an all-star second baseman because we recognized that was where his skill set was better served. So, but today these two are catchers, and they go out high with that idea to catch until they can't. We need catchers so bad, but a guy like Priester is a push play. A guy like Bennett, depending on his adaptability, his coaching, flexibility, and athleticism, which I'm seeing above average marks from you on all those things. I think you got to give him a chance to catch.
Yeah. And both these guys, like I said, and I like the Priester thing. Anybody makes the game look that easy is good.
Put you on the spot. I'd hate doing this, but that's what this is about. You're either betting on the bat or you're betting on the guy that is going to go play. You're a high ceiling guy. You like to take the Hail Mary, the big throw. Which guy do you take?
Well, I'd give Bennett the slight edge now because I've seen him more, and that's
right.
really the reason. I've seen Priester a couple times now, and he hasn't ever disappointed. He's got that skill set we always talk about. Bennett I've just seen like over the last couple of years, and every time I've seen him play, he's hit and hit.
I'm a huge Jake Bennett fan. I've been a Bennett fan for a couple of years. Big right-handed bat, no doubt. But in this instance, at this position, so close and dear to my heart, I'm going with the catcher. I'm going with Priester right now, and I'm betting on his bat.
All right.
His catching's there, and his bat will come. How's that?
Yeah. Well, like I said, you'd love to have both these guys. Both these guys are great players, and I think guys we're going to be watching on TV someday. So.
All right, that's my favorite Foggy Mountain breakdown that we've done up to this point.
Obviously, the catcher's near and dear to your heart. So, well, we had a good run today, Lou. I mean, we got a lot of players in, talked about a lot of things in JUCO baseball, and we love JUCO baseball. It's great for development, and these kids get an opportunity to show what they got and get on to the next level. So, we love JUCO baseball and love talking about it. So. Until we meet again on another episode of JUCO Jam, it's been a pleasure as always. And like I said, enjoyed talking ball with you. Remember, for all the comprehensive coverage in junior college baseball, go to dreambigathletics.com. Everybody out there, you guys have a good day. Hopefully you're seeing some good baseball, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode of JUCO Jam.
You've been listening to JUCO Jam. For all your junior college needs, go to dreambigathletics.com and make sure to tune in to next week's episode of JUCO Jam.